Good evening, friends. Welcome back to the fourth lecture on money and banking. In the third video, we have talked about what is money. We have discussed regarding, we try to understand what is money by its functions. That is, store of value. Money inherently stores certain value which can be used for exchange of goods and services. Medium of exchange, since money has got value stored inside, you can exchange goods and services. Hence, money is a medium of exchange. Unit of account, what you have earned, what you're spending, how you're going to decide how much you have spent, how much you have earned. It keeps a record of the transactions by having certain value on the money. Standard of deferred payment, whatever payments you're going to make in future, how much you need to pay at a later date, or how much you can pay today itself. That value, that standard is measured by money. This is what we had studied in the previous lecture. Now, today we are going to talk about the contingent or residuary or ancillary functions of money. Now, what do you mean by that? We got to understand. What are these? These are the primary functions, initial functions, first go-to functions of money. Preliminary functions, like we have in science: preliminary observations, primary observations, secondary observations. These are the residual functions, ancillary functions. What is money used for? Money used for store of value, medium of exchange, unit of account. It's a standard deferred payment mode. What are these? These are primary functions. What are ancillary functions? Now we got to understand the word ancillary. For example, Bajaj Auto makes motorcycles, right? Now, Bajaj Auto does not manufacture all the parts by itself. It gives manufacture of certain parts to certain companies. Say, for example, chassis, tires, spokes, body, suspension, bumpers, light fittings. They all are being manufactured by whom? By subgroup of companies who are associated with a product being manufactured by Bajaj Auto. Those sub-manufacturers, they're called as ancillaries. So, the word ancillary means aligned with the objective of Bajaj Auto. Hence, they are called as ancillaries. Now, here, ancillary functions. Apart from this, primary functions, money also has certain ancillary functions, contingent functions, allied functions, aligned functions of, along with these. There are certain functions which are beyond these primary functions. Let us try to understand what is it. If you remember, in previous lectures, we have talked about how money plays a pivotal role in moving the economy, running the economy, pushing the economy, pulling the economy, lifting the economy. Now, how does it lift? Right? Money is used to distribute incomes of people. Whenever people earn, how would you distribute them? The earnings are distributed in the form of money. Right? Now, why money? Because money is having store of value, it's a medium of exchange, it's a unit of account, it's a standard of deferred payments. These are inherent functions. These are ancillary functions. Right? For example, if I say what is the inherent function of this? Inherent function of this scale is to draw certain lines, inherent functions. What is the ancillary function of this? You would be surprised to know. If you remember in our school, the teacher used to use the scale to beat the students also, to correct the students, to make them fall in line. This is what? Making the students fall in line is what we call it as ancillary functions. So ancillary function of money is used to distribute the incomes of people. How would you distribute? How would you say your effort is this much worth? Right? Some people are working, say, for 20 days, some people are working for 15 days, some are working for 6 months. So how much is their effort worth? How would you decide in terms of money? So money is used to distribute incomes of people. It's also used. What is the next ancillary function? Create credit by banks for serving the productive process. How would you move the productive process? Now, what is productive process? Here, converting some crude form of material into saleable form of material. That is what we call it as productive purpose. In other words, in economic sense, what is productive purpose? Adding value to an existing product is what we call it as productive purpose. Saleable, you manufacture a product which is saleable. That is what we call it as productive process. Simply manufacturing the scale is production. But if it is used to enhance the productivity of the scale, that is what we call it as productive purpose. So, create credit by banks for serving the productive process. Now, what do you mean by that? Money, say for example, you go and deposit money in the bank. What does the bank do? It uses the money to lend to someone who needs it. Means you are transforming the money from deposits to loans so that it is used for productive purpose. You're transforming the money, right? You're transforming the purpose of money. You're not transforming, say for example, from notes to rupees, or from notes to coins, from coins to notes. That is not the case. That is not what we mean to say by transformation. So money has got transformation purpose. You're transforming value of the money. Some people are putting money in the bank as deposits. The same deposits are used to create loans. That is, loan is extended as credit for serving the productive purpose. Third, improve the productivity of capital by imparting liquidity to it. Now, what does this mean? Money also serves the function or performs the activity of capital. What is capital? Capital is the money that is required to run, to start, to move, to push the business. Right? So that is what we mean to say by capital. Now, say for example, if the capital is in the form of liquidity, liquidity means an asset which can be easily converted into cash. That is what we mean to say liquidity. Money, you can buy anything from money. Say for example, you raise capital. That capital, if it is used frequently and mostly, that means that capital has got more liquidity. Now, more liquidity in the business, you do business faster. Say for example, you have capital which can be easily having a form of liquidity. Liquidity means you have money when you need it the most. That is what we call it as the most liquid form of money, which can be having liquidity as its base, as its core component, as its function. Right? So if the money is in the form of highly liquid form, in highest possible scenario of having in cash, surplus cash, if it is there in the company, it is invested. And whenever you make investments, definitely you have returns, providing what is the scope of risk you have taken, right? So investments follow the principle of higher the risk, higher the returns, lower the risk, lower the returns. Means there's a trade-off between risk and return. So when is it possible? When money improves the productivity of capital. Say for example, fixed capital. land, labor, whatever you call it as, land, labor, machinery. These are what? Land and machinery, plant and machinery, these are fixed capitals. So fixed capital, say for example, you need money, you don't say that, okay, I need money, you take this machine and provide me the money. It's not possible to have highest form of liquidity in plant and machinery. That same capital, if it is in the form of surplus cash or in the form of cash, what happens? It improves the productive process. It enhances the productivity of capital, productivity of money, right? So these three form the contingent, residual, ancillary functions. Now one word that we are going to discuss, every day we are going to discuss one word. You might have heard about this word, quasi-money. What is quasi-money? It is nearer to money. That's all for now. This concept we are going to discuss in the following lectures. Thank you.